You are about to opt in to MONEROTOPIA, a show for the Monero community where all are welcome to join. From noob to maxi, no matter what bags you hold. Just sit back and relax to the sweet sounds of Monero's latest progress. Or if you're feeling inspired, join us on stage. Remember, the only thing that can stop Monero is a false belief that it can be stopped. And if you want to win the revolution faster, we recommend you remove your XMR from all custodial exchanges immediately. Warning, voting accidents are common around here. Don't forget to properly secure your private keys. MONEROTOPIA starts now.
All right.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, my friend.
Always last minute.
Always last minute, people. Just for the record, if we're ever late, it's because of this guy. Just throwing it out there. It's never me. I'm sitting here 10 minutes
I was getting ready
before.
for the show. I had to, do my morning ritual. I go to the bathroom I got to go to the bathroom.
No, you
shower.
just take your time for everything.
Then I'm, Fluffy's tweeting things.
Yeah, fine. I forgave you.
Tried to get him on
morning.
the show.
I forgave you this morning. But yeah, you're like scrambling like the last. I'm like,
is it coming
20
on?
Seconds.
Is Fluffy on?
I don't know. Is he? Did you convince him?
He hasn't really been that, he's making a little noise. Tweeting, but I don't think I've really seen him interview or anything.
No, it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Would be awesome if you jumped on. Fluffy, we'd love to hear from you. We love you. We love you, Fluff.
We love you. We miss you. So, yeah.
Yeah, he's tweeting about, we were talking about, whether people should buy Monero, essentially, with the hope that it'll go up in price.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that during the news segment.
So what else we got? Oh, we got the New York City meetup that we're
we are. Was it June? I think we talked about it the last episode.
On Tail Emission Day, which currently
June
looks like
8th.
It's going to happen on June 8th.
June 8th, yeah.
But that could change.
I set it up.
Based on
it's pending. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, I don't think the day will change, just like the hour time of when tail emission kicks in. So I think we're pretty good with picking June 8th. Okay. I mean, unless things really, I guess, pick up in terms of transactions or whatever.
So that should be fun. Yeah, I put up the meetup and people are joining it because we still don't know where it's going to be.
Awesome. We got people joining it. Yeah, because we never really used that meetup page much. We haven't used that in years.
Well, no, I use it for, I guess just for the show, really.
Okay. Maybe we'll get a pretty good show. And so the idea is anybody else that wants to throw a meetup on that same day, please do. We could all coordinate and we'll do a live MoneroTopia show that day. We're going to try to do it at a bar or something that we can get to accept Monero for the day.
Hey, you want to talk about your entire week of
well, that's what I'm trying to get to. So part of it is in the build up to Tail Emission Day, I've pledged to tip somebody every day in the real world with Monero, and I've done it every single day except yesterday.
Yesterday. But I think you had two in one day. No,
I'll do two today.
Oh goodness!
I will. I will do two today.
Oh my god!
But my best one was
what a great birthday weekend.
I got somebody to do tips. Tips are one thing. Tips are easy. I've gotten literally every single person I've asked, except one person 2 days ago at the acai place that I go.
Okay.
I had that one girl. She said yes. I went back in again. She said, now she's just like, yeah, no brainer. She's like, send me the Monero. But there was another girl in there. I think it was, I don't know. It's all becoming a blur now. But she was like, nah, no thanks. Like she just didn't want to go through.
Wait, was that at the beer garden we went to? At first she was like, no.
Well, no, beer garden we got
yeah, but first
two
she
bartenders.
Said no, and then
one of the bartenders
yes, and
decided no, but she was like kind of looking after she saw the other ones accepted. She's like, damn it, why did I say no? But moral of the story is, dude, people say yes, guys. I highly encourage people to go out there and do it in your day to day.
It's been working, yeah.
For me, the hardest part is, as I think I intermittent fast.
Nah.
So, I mean, all I drink is black coffee, and we have our own supply of coffee. So I've been like unnecessarily
to get your coffee today.
Unnecessarily going to Starbucks just so I can make a purchase during the day. So for me, the hard part is like I don't really interact in real world commerce every day because it's like
until after like maybe 5 or 6 p.m.
And then even then, like sometimes we come home and we just
have dinner here.
You know, so it's like that's the hard part. Like I'm not
It's
really
okay. You're saving your vocal cords because you know.
Yeah. But today, now it's a Saturday. I gotta get your birthday present.
Still haven't gotten it. I mean,
last minute. But I'm gonna purchase the birthday present.
Oh my god!
With Monero let's see if I can make it happen. So you're not getting a birthday present unless I can find somebody willing to accept Monero for whatever it is.
Sure. Say that to the community. That's fine.
But guys, that's the goal. So you know, I've been tweeting if anybody wants to, you know, join the mission, try to do a real world tip every day with Monero up until tail emission. And then the other thing is trying to get other people around the world to throw meetups on the same day, and we could all do it at the same time. We could stream.
That'd be cool.
We could have everybody join the stream. I don't know how, you know, it'd be cool if we get a few people.
I think we might get a few people. People that were at the conference were, were talking to us, and they wanted to kind of join forces.
Yeah, the MoneroTopia Telegram room is hopping. People
please join if you haven't.
That's
just MoneroTopia on Telegram.
That's where we talk about all these things. So jump in there, especially if you're interested in throwing a meetup and participating in tail emission day. We're also constantly talking about like, you know, Monero circular economy in there. So anybody that's not already in there, please do jump into the MoneroTopia Telegram group. Can buy jewelry with XMR. Oh, yeah. You know anybody who's selling? Let me know.
Thank you, birthday.
Anybody knows anybody in the New York area selling jewelry for Monero? Hit me up. Gracious. You let me know. I'll take it, whatever it is.
God help me. What is this? Anything. I'm curious to see what I get tomorrow.
Be a surprise for all of us.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Anything else we gotta mention?
Nothing that, I mean, we have an interview coming up with you. Well, meaning we're going to be publishing an interview.
Oh, yeah.
This weekend.
We had dMartian on last night. He's awesome. I love that guy. We met him at MoneroTopia. He's just a cool dude. We hung out with him. He hung out on the beach with us. He's just got a cool sounding voice too. I like when he talks. Very smooth.
Very passionate.
And very passionate. Yeah. So we had a good Monero talk yesterday. So we'll be dropping that in the next day or so. I will happily take directly Monero for my birthday present. When's your birthday, man? Let us know when your birthday is. I'll send you a little birthday tip.
Birthday tip?
Was it yesterday? That'd be ideal. Then I'd be covered for yesterday. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all we got. Let's keep it moving.
All right. Well, it looks like aFungible is running something. He's having issues with his computer, so I guess let's just jump into our guest segment. Let's do that.
21st of March. All right, post your Monero address since I said it now. Your birthday already passed. I'll send you.
Happy belated birthday, Ian! Yay!
Yeah, post it in the thread.
Post it in the thread. Let's just jump into the guest segment.
Let's do it.
The MoneroTopia guest segment is sponsored by Cake Wallet. Store, send, receive, and exchange your Monero and Bitcoin safely on iOS and Android too. Cake Wallet is open source, and you always control your own keys. All righty. We have MoneroFox.
Hi. Do you hear me good?
Yes, we do. How are
loving
you?
your logo.
Yeah,
I like it.
Beautiful.
Your icon.
I found it somewhere on the internet.
You did a good job. How are you? Thank you for joining us. You wanna?
I'm happy to join you. I'm looking for the first time. Your MoneroTopia.
Oh, is it the first time you saw the show?
Yeah.
We do a horrible job marketing ourselves.
No, I don't have a time for 2 hours watching, but today.
Oh yeah, well there's that too. It's definitely not everybody gets something out of it, but we're glad you could join us today. You want to quickly introduce yourself?
I don't know what I can say. I'm a Monero fan and crypto fan. I don't know what to say. I am. What's
your Monero story? How'd you get into Monero?
I first start with Bitcoin, and then in 2014 the Monero was born. Everybody knows this, and it was very interesting. And I always keep my mind about Monero and looking what it is doing. So this is. I was in Bitcoin, so I was searching something better than it.
And when you say better, what were the problems that you saw? Was it just the fungibility, or what got you?
Everything is public and nobody likes it,
Yep. That's basically what we say on the show every day. So yeah, we do know. It's interesting to hear Arctic Mine.
Yes, I read about him.
He's a legend in the community.
Yes.
For those who don't know, because he made it. He said this on numerous occasions, but I think it's kind of just getting out there now in terms of people realize that what really attracted Arctic Mine to Monero wasn't its built-in privacy, but its on-chain scalability. That's what really attracted him. So that's interesting, because a lot of people don't even talk about that part. Is that something that interested you as well?
Yes, but privacy as first.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, man. And now,
and very nice Monero. Very nice. What? The second thing is this random X. Your CPU mining.
Oh yeah.
You don't need these huge mines or these big companies to mine Monero. Everybody can mine it at home. It's. I think this is very, very nice.
Yeah, that's the dream, and Monero seems to be fulfilling it so far. Hopefully, it's not too good to be true. But yeah, so far it appears it's working. It's working. Do you mind? Do you mind at home?
Only in winter.
Okay. All right, so now we're slowly figuring out where you're located. So we know it's a cold area.
I think that a lot of
area with seasons, right? It's not cold all year long.
All year long.
A lot of people live in this northern hemisphere.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have a miner that I bought from Mike
Custom Tech.
Mike Custom Tech,
he was at the
and he totally hooked it up. Thing is beautiful.
It's so beautiful, yeah.
And we want to use it as our regular desktop too, our computer. But I literally haven't had there's like some little thing I need to figure out on it, and I haven't had the time to communicate with it. So, Mike, if you're listening, maybe even after the show today, we could get that done. I mean, I have an iPhone that I bought that I never even. We've had no time. We've had no time, guys. Running around like maniacs. But Mr. Fox, the reason you were brought to our attention is because I believe you have been keeping an updated list of all exchanges that are selling Monero, that have Monero available. And then I guess ones that, the status of the exchanges, whether or not they're, withholding withdrawals and things like that. Is that accurate?
Yes, this is my hobby.
Tell us about that.
What?
Tell us all about that.
So this is my hobby every day, to search which exchanges are closed and which are open and why are they closed. And so this is something like detective work. I like it. No.
Where do you post the information?
Where I post my information only in Reddit, XMR Trader.
Now, are you keeping track? Are you doing something with the data so we can kind of see over time, like what's going on? Are there certain exchanges that are turning off more than others, turning off withdrawals? Are you kind of analyzing it?
Yes, but not so deeply as you think. Only briefly, only brief.
So what is the current state? How are things looking? Is today a good day for Monero withdrawals, or are people turning it off across the board? What's going on?
So Poloniex and Huobi are closed. We are starting third week, so that's not usual mine times for 24 hours. They are closed 3 weeks, and
oh wow, it's been 3 weeks that they've been closed.
Yes, third week today.
Wow.
And
now, are they closed with a bunch of different coins withdrawals, or just Monero that you're
only Monero?
And now their excuse is what, that it's they're doing updates or something.
Always maintains.
What's that?
Always maintenance. Yes, always. There is no other excuse. Sometimes there is a network congestion.
Got it. Network congestion like that makes any sense.
Network is always busy at Binance. Always busy.
So it's becoming so blatantly obvious that something's going on, right? I mean, so what do you think of the Monero run?
Monero run, very nice idea, and it was like I think it was like a small snowball which started big things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the best thing about it was it got the word out on the importance of pulling your Monero off exchanges.
Yes,
so even if people maybe everybody didn't really coordinate and do it at that time, it got picked up by the media, which is awesome. Opened people's eyes just to this concept that they might be printing paper Monero. So I thought it was super effective in that.
But I think the very important thing was this that exchanges were afraid about this, and they are starting to accumulate some real coins, and long before this event, that was the best of Monero run. This was afraid of exchanges. I think it's my opinion.
Oh, you mean that exchanges are reacting and accumulating Monero because they don't want to be caught with their,
Yes, they were. I think they were accumulating Monero a long time before the run, so they can be ready. But I think that other users, which had the coins in some strange exchanges like OKX or Binance, they are withdrawing before Monero run because they were afraid that they will not get their coins at 18th April. So this Monero run was perfect to raise awareness for everybody. Everybody was afraid, and that was really exciting.
So we talk about this quite a bit. I mean, so what do you think is going to happen? Do you think we get to the point where exchanges start implementing ways for users to verify that they have funds?
No, nobody's going to do that. Maybe Kraken, but others no. Because
if somebody like Kraken or a couple others do it, then maybe they would gain business, right? And the other exchanges would kind of lose business. They would become less trusted. So there could be some competitive advantage there.
Yes, that could be nice, but now that's not a situation. And that's maybe Kraken can do it, and people slowly will join this exchange, but nobody's going to do this now, I think.
Somebody saying Binance is the biggest culprit. Yeah, we've always heard. So how does Binance look in terms of, when they shut off their withdrawals? Is it happening a lot?
Last year, OKX was closed many months. So Binance is one of the better exchanges because they were not closed a whole month. They were closed only few days or few weeks, but not so long as OKX or UOB or NiceHash exchange, or these other exchanges were closed months, 5 months or so. Huobi is closed 2 months last year. So Binance is doing that. It is closed only a few days or week or something like that. They are still somehow managed out of it all, and they have some coins ready to withdraw. I don't know if you understand me because my English is not very.
No, you're doing great. You're doing great.
Very nice.
I just don't want to interrupt you. I'm listening and closely. Yeah, would be cool if we put a bounty out there to people that work for these exchanges, and try to get them to just like leak information, and we pay them with Monero, everybody wants to set that up. I don't know how we can make that work.
I will be very interested in Binance hot wallet because Huobi there's zero, or Poloniex there's zero, or Waves there's probably no Monero there now.
Yeah, anybody has some insider information, wants to come on MONEROTOPIA anonymously and talk about what's going on at the exchanges. You can use that. That one of the creepy, obscured voices, and we'll tip you in Monero for your information.
Oh my God. That'd be a cool idea.
We'll have people pretending to do that now, though. They'll be lining up.
All right.
Cool, man. Very nice meeting you. I think it's awesome that you're doing this. Yeah, it would be cool to like kind of see it in like data form over time. How it looks nice. Exchanges. How long they're down, how long they're open. Yeah, very interesting. So I mean, so you think like right now, like Poloniex, so they've been closed for 3 weeks. So the thought is they're just currently accumulating or something would be the theory.
If you can, I can search something. I can share my screen. You can see here.
Federico's like, let's buy a politician, fund him to promote XMR. Well, I did run for Congress, guys, 2 years ago. You missed out on your opportunity. I mean, that's I'm joking.
Are you now?
Well, I mean, I did have a Monero address up if anybody wants to send me tips, but.
So here is some interesting article from 2 months ago. Poloniex, give me back 2,000 XMR, please. So, that guy don't have it yet. It's very, very bad.
Wait, what is it? This is from 2 years ago?
No, 2 months ago.
Oh,
2 months ago.
Really?
So I don't think they have some XMR because they can pay this guy till now.
Well, so what is he saying though? What are they telling him is the holdup? Is it that he didn't, KYC AML? They're asking him for info and he's not providing it? Because I know that happens too, right? They did that to quite a few people. I
don't know. It's in the queue or something like that. You can contact him and ask.
That's crazy. So I mean, at some point, people have to start suing, right? I mean, they.
But how do you sue this company, which is or somewhere in the middle of the ocean or something? It's complicated,
Well, Poloniex is pretty legit.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, they exist as an entity for quite some time. I don't know. I imagine there'd be ways of getting to. I don't know where they're incorporated, or I don't know. I've never really looked into it. Have you looked into it at all?
Hello?
Mr. Fox?
Hello, I hear you.
Have you looked into the Poloniex thing at all? Like, do you know what their situation is? Are they?
But I don't have insider information, I'm just a basic internet user.
Yeah.
You can search, for example, HIT BTC exchange don't have some coins, and people are angry 2 years and they don't have them, like Dog coin or ATC coin or AOTA coin. So when it's closed, it can be closed for years. So people can do nothing. That's very, very sad.
JettyTube is saying there's no way for exchanges to publish this in an audible way without sacrificing privacy of their users. Additionally, it's not possible at all to ensure they are publishing all transaction keys. So yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. There's got to be some way, something to do. There are some in the community who ask for more audibility tools to be built into the clients, but a lot of people push back on that after Fluffy left his position. I don't know what that. I don't really know what. I don't know if you want to explain that more, J2. I don't know what you mean by that. What Fluffy has to do with it. Jetty2, by the way, if you want to jump on the general stage session, please do. Seems like you got a lot of info. Mr. Fox, thank you so much. Should we move on to
the price report?
We're going to move on to the price report. Please stay on board if you can. If you can join us, and we're for the general on stage session.
Okay.
We'll be back for that. So please stay.
Thank you.
Okay.
The MoneroTopia price report segment is sponsored by Local Monero. Avoid using KYC exchanges. Buy and sell Monero directly for fiat, peer-to-peer.
Fungible.
Hello, guys.
How's it going?
Good morning. Well, all going awesome. I heard Fox speaking in this channel.
Yes. Are you familiar with him?
I'm not familiar with him, but I have some experience with Poloniex from the past. I thought I could quickly share. This was back in 2017 when I was, I used to use Poloniex, and it was, I think, an awesome exchange in my experience. However, I was victim of this. I don't know if you've heard a clam crash, where I lent some Bitcoins, and basically their algorithm was really, they messed up, and people lost 1,800 Bitcoins on that exchange, a number of people.
That was,
and I was
Polo?
Yeah, that was Poloniex 2017-18.
Yeah.
And then I stopped. Yeah, then I stopped trading with them. A lot of people also filed lawsuit. I could not go that route, but it was really, a bad experience that way. And then I left it. So my advice to people would be, if you want to trade in Poloniex, if you really want that, then just get the coins and GTFO right after that, because I think I lost trust in that exchange. So that's my experience, and I think
I'm familiar with them as well. They used to be. I don't even think they're not even US based anymore, right? Or you're not even.
Now not. So they changed a lot of different hands bought Poloniex. So I think it went with Circle, and now it's with Circle, if I understand correctly.
Yeah, then I don't even think it's with Circle anymore. I could be wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So the owners kept changing. Now we don't know who to sue. It's really difficult, and very difficult for people not just in the US but also outside US. So
I have a Polo story, but I'm not even.
Let's not.
All right, cool.
Long one.
Okay, I'm going to get started with the price report number 19.
I just sent you a tip, by the way, aFungible, because you had your QR code up there. Anybody who sees it up, you send him a tip. Send aFungible a tip, guy. He's been doing a great job consistently coming on every week, giving us the price report. Please be generous, guys. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Yes, so basically this is where we are at the moment. We got to have some patience, and we shall be gracefully rewarded. This is from the Food Monk, which is something that I coined. So today I'm going to just start with the sentiment in the market, the technical price action, and then I made certain volume and transaction profiles would be interesting to look into. So with respect to price, how the volume and transaction have performed with, so all of this is going to be 200-day moving average. So that it gives us less noisy data as well as more data that we can actually trust. So yes, so the fear and greed index, it's actually, I'm very happy about this. This is quite perfect. This is a great buying opportunity in my moment, in my opinion. And we're really down. And I think, yeah, we're going to stay like this a little bit longer. Last time I came, I said couple of weeks, but we saw a down trend sort of in Bitcoin. But there has been a lot of accumulation happening on chain. So I'm not really worried about that. This is the BTC USD chart. Nothing much to say about this. We are seeing some red candles. I would like to see a couple of more red candles if possible, coming to the bottom of the Bollinger Band, which is around $38,000, and then continue seeing an uptrend, because the MACD is also in a very sort of precarious situation, but we are also on the RSI a bit oversold. So I'm not really worried if it goes to 38,000, 36,000. I don't think it's going to go anything like back to 30,000. I don't see that. I think this is like a very good support, but it can do anything at this moment. It's a bit confusing in this moment. But
you think Bitcoin's looking pretty solid there with support?
It is looking solid around 40,000. So I'm least concerned. If it goes down, I think it's a great buying opportunity. That's what I would say. This is the XMR BTC chart. So we are in an overbought territory entering there. Last time I also informed. So that would mean that with respect to Bitcoin, what Monero could do, that is just, I don't know what Monero is going to do, but from the charts, it's going to kind of stabilize around the current price while Bitcoin takes up, so that this candle comes down a little bit. That's just an assumption. It can do what it wants to do. But on the XMR BTC chart, Monero is looking really strong, but I think it has to come down. Or it could also be possible that this Bollinger Band starts expanding and this green candle continuously goes up, because I don't see right now this thing coming down, because we are seeing full candles at the moment. It's looking pretty good, but this is over bought at the moment. But if you see monthly, I think month on month we are still we are pretty solid month on month.
So on the month on month chart, we really haven't broken out above that.
No,
right?
Yeah, I think we're really looking good. We haven't broken out. We have broken out in the long-term trend line, so that is good. But what I mean is, like, we could potentially see more green candles, which is better for holding Monero against Bitcoin. And the next chart is the XMR USD. I think this is my favorite. Let's see, what is this? So this is the daily chart. And I think on the daily chart, looking pretty solid. I don't have much to complain. It's certainly over bought the RSI. So I mean, certainly we can go up on the XMR USD, but it's not going to be sustainable. We have to come back and test certain levels. And in fact, I was also asking myself that would it be good to touch 220 levels again? It looks a bit hard, because on the back of strong volumes coming in, it looks difficult to go to 220. But if at all we were to do that, I think that will be a final nail in the coffin, or final test for us to hit 220 and then bounce back. And then we're not going to see 220 for a very long time. Right. On the weekly chart, I think it's looking solid. I don't have much to complain. We might see some corrections during the days, but on week to week basis, we have certainly formed a good, strong uptrend. And on a monthly basis, let me see this. On a monthly basis, we have only seen a single candle. So I was also measuring the corrections that we have. So this is like open, high, low, close. So when we open on a full candle, and this is the close of the candle, if you see my mouse, open and close, and this is the high of the candle. So from the high of the candle to the close of the candle, we often see anywhere between 15 to 30% correction. So let's assume that 290 was the high for this month, then we could see a 40% correction, which I think comes around 210, but that's like the maximum. So I would see that we go down to 230, 240, if at all. But I think right now it's 270 something. So that's what we have on the price action. I think looking good overall.
Beautiful.
And sorry.
I was gonna say, what do you think? I mean, it just seems anecdotally, I feel like Monero just seems to be kind of like leading the market. It's like I see, and everything else is down, it's up, and then everything kind of like catches up. It seems to be like the leading, one of the leading moving coins here.
Absolutely. I mean, it's come up from number 50 to number 30 position at the moment. I think that's looking pretty solid. The only thing I would expect is Monero to maintain its new position, which is around 30 to 35. Mm-hmm. If it's able to sustain this for a pretty reasonable amount of time, then we can, aim for the next, which is in the top 20s. But I think there's still some time to go there.
Okay.
This one, a couple of more things quickly. This is the Money Run, what happened on April 16. I think I also made a post on Reddit. This is the number of transactions that happened on this particular day, which was somewhere around 13,000-ish. And then it started going back up. So this was an anomaly in the chart, because in the last 15 months, we have never seen this kind of a dip on a daily transaction basis. So that is food for thought. I don't have answers.
That was right before the Monero run?
That was 2 days before the Money Run.
Okay. Interesting.
And the last part, which I'm coming to, this was the volume profile I had formed. So what I did is gather all the data points of prices from the beginning, 2014, from the inception till today. And I made a 200-day moving average. That means each data point that you see is an averaged out data point from the last 200 days. So this is like cuts out all the noise, and this is the value that you can trust. So what I was seeing was this was around 2018 when we had the peak. I think the price points are not correct. I think should be a little down. I think missed that while expanding the chart. So this was around 450 odd US dollars when we saw the volume about 100 or less than 100 million. And today we have like almost 3 to 4 times the volume that we have at this peak. So that means this is just like an evidence that Monero is becoming popular as time goes on.
Beautiful.
And oh, sorry, there was a last part. Yes. This the same price chart, but with the transaction volumes. And you would also see at the peak of 2017-18, the transactions were 5,000, and today it is really 22,000. That is where we stand, which is 4 times. So it's looking very promising overall.
I love it. Yeah, that's definitely the most exciting, metric with regards to Monero is just its transaction count, just going up over time.
Yeah, I think even the average, you would see that it's really rising very gracefully and very slowly, but we are heading to the north.
Right to the north.
Thank you so much, aFungible. Anything else?
Yeah. No, that's all from my side. Thank you so much.
Amazing as always. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
I love it.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. So shall we move on to the
Sure.
weekly news segment?
Yeah, we're going to move on to weekly news. aFungible, hang out if you can. If not, no worries.
We'll see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you offline.
And now for our weekly news segment. All righty. Let's share our screen.
You're looking good in your Monero orange outfit.
Monero orange. Well, it's my birthday. I'm celebrating my birthday and Monero. It's been an awesome week. Look at that, guys. Really I feel special.
Can you open it full screen?
Yes, I can. Give me 1 second. Oh, full screen. Yes, I can. Right here. Okay.
All right. So this news just came out. Monero is the crypto of choice for basically ransomware hackers. Double extortion attacks increased by 500%. A surge in ransomware in 2021 has also resulted in a surge in Monero usage as a method of payment, as more criminal groups want only XMR. Some people think that's not good news. I think it's just an indicator of the fact that Monero works, as we always talk about on this show. Just interesting to see, guys. I mean, I'd be surprised if we didn't see this, right? So Monero works as intended. It's digital cash. Those that are trying to receive a ransom anonymously without being traced would be wise to use Monero, and we're seeing that marketplace adopt it. So it's just an indicator of growing usage and growing awareness of the fact that Monero is better suited for these purposes of digital cash. Interesting to see. And I think this came out of a report. I can't really read it because you're moving it around.
Oh, sorry.
I think this came out of a report that Cypher Trace did.
Right here, yeah.
So you guys could go read that report. I read it. It was pretty interesting. Some interesting tidbits in there. But basically, the overall theme is these guys are moving towards Monero and asking for ransoms in Monero instead of Bitcoin. They're offering discounts if the ransom is paid with Monero. They still do ask for, Bitcoin is still used by and large mostly, and mainly because of the liquidity. So these guys are willing to take the risk still to this date, and say, pay us in Bitcoin just because they think, they might have a greater chance of receiving it, I guess, faster from their victim, since people can more easily get their hands on Bitcoin at this point. But they prefer if the victim pays with Monero, and that's why they offer the discount. So over time, obviously, I think you'll see Monero's use for this start to grow more and more, and they'll move away from Bitcoin. What does this mean in terms of governments reacting and making coming after Monero? I don't know. We'll see. But in terms of the tech, it shows that Monero works as intended. Ukraine bans Bitcoin purchases with national currency amid martial law. So this is pretty interesting. I think this just happened yesterday. Ukraine's central bank is prohibiting Bitcoin buys with their local currency in an attempt to prevent what is calls unproductive capital outflow. So they're trying to restrict the amount of Bitcoin that citizens in the Ukraine can buy essentially with their bank accounts, because they're afraid that they're basically leaving with the funds, but moving the money outside of the country borders, capital outflows. So it's interesting to see that they're trying to restrict this, that they're concerned that Bitcoin is being used for these purposes. It's and we'll see what happens. I don't know if this is really a Bitcoin versus Monero story, right? If UK is banning the purchase of Bitcoin, it would also apply to Monero. So it's not like necessarily Monero is better suited. I mean, if the government's making it difficult for you to even just acquire crypto with your bank account, using fiat and getting into crypto, that's gonna make it difficult whether you're trying to acquire Bitcoin or Monero. But obviously it'd be more wise to acquire Monero for those purposes, so that you can do with it what you wish without being tracked or traced. Because who knows? I mean, anybody watching can easily see, potentially see where the Bitcoin is moving to. So that's interesting to see that development. We'll bring more attention to crypto's use case. What is this one? There is no way to guarantee or know if there's an inflation bug. Oh, there's do you want to scroll up? This was somebody posted a challenge last night. Why is Monero a shitcoin? So this guy's exploring Monero. He's interested in Monero. He's going down the Monero rabbit hole, and he put out a tweet. he said, I think he'd pay 10,000 sats to any Bitcoiner who could kind of give him the best takes on why Monero is a shitcoin. I advise you guys checking out this thread, responding to some of the FUD that's in there. It's all the typical stuff that's coming out. So you have the BTC maxis coming out. I mean, you know, some of the points are obviously valid, right? We know there's design differences between Bitcoin and Monero. But a lot of it is kind of the same old FUD, and it's just, Bitcoin, Monero can't be audited. We know that's not true. It can be. It's just done in a different, more abstract way than Bitcoin. And some of the other, standard criticisms. Monero has infinite supply, so it's just gonna, your value will just leak over time, because it's an infinite supply of Monero, whereas we know that's not really what matters. What matters is Monero's supply is finite at any point in time. It's capped essentially at any given point in time, and we know what the emission schedule of Monero is. I mean, that was really what it was. Beautiful about Bitcoin is this idea that some software was created where we could all agree on what it is, what it states, and what the emission schedule, supply schedule of the currency would be. Not so much that it's capped at some number, whether it was 21 million or 210 million. That wasn't really, the breakthrough. The breakthrough was that we were able to create something where we could all agree on what the supply emission is, and all know that it would do that in a stable, reliable way without any insiders being able to change it at will. Not so much the cap, especially being that the cap comes with the sacrifice of not knowing whether or not the network itself can be sustained with mining rewards. So those things get lost. They require a little bit more explanation than just saying there will only ever be 21 million. Like, that's kind of like, that's it's just a really easy sales pitch. So this is just something that's just going to come with time. So moments like these where people are asking these questions, I do think it's wise to get out there as Monero people. I think I even put a tweet calling all Monero Marines, please come out and answer these questions.
Yes, I saw
it.
That.
It is wise to get involved. You don't have to be an asshole. You don't have to be a dick about it. But just explain to people. It takes time to understand these concepts. People's minds exploded when they realized, wow, there's only 21 million. But they have to realize like what that really means, and does that come with the sacrifice? They have to look at the larger picture. They have to realize that may mean that they're trying. It may mean that it's unsustainable, right? Because there'll be a point where there is no mining reward left for the miners to mine, and if the larger picture is creating a stable system, then you might want to have a tail emission. But these things, once again, they require explanation and understanding and taking time and abstract thought. So I encourage people to get out there and teach people about these things. Oh, and Fluffy this morning. Can you scroll up, because it started as something else.
Like an entire conversation.
Yeah, somebody's like, I strongly agree with this comment from Fluffy Pony. Don't buy Monero, use Monero. The latter contributes to Monero's network effects and improves Monero's privacy. Buying Monero and hoping you'll get rich does pretty much nothing for the ecosystem. And then I chimed in, not realizing. So I guess Fluffy had recently made this comment. I believe Fluffy clarified at some point that storing value is use also. So, that's also a potential use case. So when Fluffy says, only, don't buy Monero, use Monero. So some people are using Monero for the purposes of storing value, just like some people use cash for the purposes of storing value. You could have $10,000 worth of cash sitting in your cabinet drawer, and it's going to store value. Is it storing it well? In this day and age, not really, because of inflation. Is Monero storing value well? Arguably, yes. It depends on the time frame you're looking at it. So then Fluffy responded and he said, this is a recent tweet I made. They're quoting a tweet from buying Monero and hoping.
Oh, sorry.
Buying Monero and hoping you'll get rich is nonsensical. Monero doesn't need number go up to be useful. That said, this is what I wrote about using Monero as a store of value, which I think is relevant. And then he goes on to say, quote a point at which if you bought $1 million worth of Monero at its all-time high of 475, and at the same day you bought $1 million worth of Bitcoin, then you would have a lot less in dollar terms today, in terms of if you were holding that Monero, but you'd have more in terms of Bitcoin. But he said, but it's worth it because your Monero is untraceable, untrackable, so people don't even know what you did with it. So it's even given that loss of value versus Bitcoin, it's still worth it potentially if that's something that's important to you, that you want to. Not only do you want to store value, but you also want to be able to transact without censorship, without tracing, without anybody knowing what you're doing with your money. So even if Monero doesn't store value as well as Bitcoin on some certain time frame, you might even be okay with that because it has this other attributes that provide value. And actually, but then I responded, well, if you bought Bitcoin and Monero at Bitcoin's all-time high, which was in November, and you bought Monero on the same day, $1 million worth, you'd have a hell of a lot more in dollar value today if you held your Monero than your Bitcoin. So, everybody's been talking about this forever. I just think it's weird. Like, we can't kind of get over this hump. Like, only use Monero. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think everybody agrees with that. Monero is digital cash. Let's use it. But storing value is a use case. It clearly does store value. It works for that purpose based on whatever time frame it is. If you bought Monero at its all-time high, sure, today it lost, up until today it lost value, but over the course of years, it's likely going to be worth more than it was. To buy Monero for purposes of thinking that you'll get rich and saying that's nonsensical, I don't think that's nonsensical. I think there's certainly arguments to be made as to why you might want to invest in Monero today. Sure, if you need digital cash, you need to use it. No brainer. Get your hands on some Monero. But if you're considering Monero as an investment because you want to put $1 million into it with the hope that it's worth more 5-10 years from now, I don't think that's nonsensical at all. That's like saying buying Bitcoin was nonsensical at $10, $100. To like, I really Fluffy, please come on here. I would love to talk. Like, I feel like he's going around in circles. I get what he's trying to do, which is not mislead people. We don't want to pump Monero. We don't want people getting into it for number go up purposes, like we saw has happened in Bitcoin and all the bad that goes along with that, which is people forgetting what the true value proposition is or supposed to be. But at the same time, I mean, to say it's nonsensical to think, to invest in Monero, I think very logical, intelligent people can analyze it and come to the conclusion that you might want to invest in Monero today. Maybe they come to the opposite conclusion. But given what we know, that Monero is growing in usage, the network, it's gaining network effect as digital cash. It's basically the winner in that space, which we talk about all the time, and we're continually seeing evidence of that. If you think, we're going to go from 20,000 daily transactions a day to 200,000 to 2 million, if you think the network is going to continue to grow, if more and more people are going to adopt and use Monero, then obviously, price is going to go up with it. It's Metcalfe's law. I mean, the value of the network itself is going to grow, and as more people use it and get into it, the liquidity is going to grow. So there's certainly, I don't think it's nonsensical to invest in Monero. Am I advising you to invest in Monero? No, this is not financial advice, guys. Maybe that's all Fluffy wants to say. He doesn't want to be pinned for, telling people to buy Monero, and I get that, but I mean, let's be real, guys. Sure, it's there's logic as to why you might want to put fiat into Monero today with the hope that it's worth more, in the future.
All right, shall we move on to the guest segment? I mean, not guest segment, viewers on stage.
Yeah, let's
see
do
if
it.
anyone else has an opinion. Because let's see. It's the viewers on stage segment. It's that time where we invite you, the viewers, up on stage to comment on anything you've heard so far today, ask the guest a question, or maybe talk about one of the news topics. Come on down.
Right. Yep.
Hello,
dMartian is on. What's going on, man?
hello.
Hey.
How's it going?
It's going great. It's going great. Long time no see. Long time no talk.
Yeah, I had fun last night, man. That was good. I enjoed that combo.
Yeah, it was good. And there's a funny story about some of the circumstances. I gotta tell you later. But at any rate, I have a question for you. So this is just what I'm hopping on for this. We've seen Monero achieve its certain aspects of on free markets, right? The free markets on the tour, free markets on tour. But also we've seen eBay take success, and we've also seen people like an amazing DJ / artist, Riot, put up some great sites like MoneroCom, and he's going to put up a new one too. Now these are for sites that allow people to have Monero accepted on their site. There's also the aspect of people having to go through tutorials, figure out which gateways to get some plugin or whatnot to work for them as a point of sale online. What if there was something like Monero Bay? Something where when people wanted to sell things, they could do it, and the rest of it was taken care of, and the credibility, like some of these free markets, is tied to someone's identity, which is through their PGP or whatever.
Yeah, of course, man. I mean, of course. Yeah.
Isn't it like Open Bazaar or something like that?
Yeah, Open Bazaar was an attempt at that. Not Monero based. They were trying to be, I think, a Bitcoin Cash based, actually. But yeah, no, there's a great need for that. Yeah, 100%. How do you envision it? What do you envision it being?
I envision it being much like some of the free markets in terms of operation. I think that people should be able to figure out, hey, I want to sell something, and start selling it. And people might be like, hey, I know this person, I don't know this person, but I'll give it a shot, or I won't give it a shot. But they get that cryptographic key. And then once you see that other people trust them, regardless of their circumstance, then suddenly things change. You get to see that even though I don't know this person, everything's private, I can buy from this person with a certain degree of trust, because if they're not selective as scamming, then maybe I'm okay. Which is pretty much the preface for all these interactions that we see in the free markets. But a trusted identity can transcend beyond those markets. I don't think it will ever happen for anything that's a ClearNet site, because if it's ClearNet and it's somewhat regulated, you're not going to put stuff on there that's going to get you off the ClearNet. then you could stay on the ClearNet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. I mean, I would personally love to see that. Help anybody that wants to work on that. I think that would be great.
Yeah.
I was thinking too, in terms of like an Airbnb type thing would be amazing.
Yeah.
You could rent out your place for Monero, and you could also do it in a way perhaps where you're, not revealing all these details about yourself, but the customer is still trusting that your Airbnb is what you say it is through reputation, and that the person renting also then has a reputation profile, but all without giving up too much information and using Monero to make the transaction.
Right. So let me am I right if I were to reflect on what you just said to say that we're figuring out systems that may be inspired by working systems in centralized environments and figuring out how to take that to a sidestep, just step aside and figure out how to do an alternative for people that don't want to have the corporate centralized basis, but like the concept and want to have trust.
100%. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely, that's the goal. That's what's going on. I mean, I think most people that own Monero, that are into Monero, want to live in a world where they could give up as little information, data about themselves as possible, maintain their privacy, yet interact with the world in the same way they currently are today, or even more seamlessly, but without sacrificing any of their data or their privacy. So, I mean, how amazing would it be if you could just go through life, with getting the same services you do today, but without being tracked and traced by corporations and governments. And, Monero proves that we could do that with money. Now let's start doing it with just commerce itself. That would be amazing.
I'm so excited when you say those kind of things. Hey, so before I sign up, the one thing I want to say is when I see people that sell something in Monero, I know that they might not be like a cryptography nerd or something like that, but they care passionately about whatever it is they work on. So if I could pay for it with Monero, I know I'm getting something good. I know I do. And I hear it from you. I hear it from myself. And I can't wait for all possibilities that are going to come from this.
I couldn't agree more, man. And I love your enthusiasm. Join us on MoneroTopia anytime, man. And we'd love to bounce ideas off of you as we try to build out the next MoneroTopia. I think you have some really good visions and insights.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, we should mention. So, guys, next MoneroTopia, we got some ideas, guys. We got some ideas. Sunita hears them all the time,
all day long, guys.
It's basically MoneroTopia doesn't. We turn off the microphones and the cameras, but it just keeps going, guys.
Some more than her.
And she married.
This is the song that never ends.
Yes, it is. It is. It's like it ended, and even the next day he was like, "So I have this vision." I was like, "Oh my God, we just finished the conference like a couple of hours ago." The guy just doesn't stop.
I'm just getting more excited about it in terms of, being a liberty freedom festival that can attract people that may not even be aware of Monero, really understand crypto at all, but are becoming aware of the fact that their governments are encroaching and impeding on their liberties, and they're thirsty for true liberty, and offering them this option, this island, this MoneroTopia, where they can come and be among others that agree with these ideals, and explore and find their way into Monero and realize Monero as being one of the tools that will help all of us live on this island all day, every day.
All day, every day. People live and breathe.
We got Monero UK. What's going on, man?
Hello, welcome.
Hey, what's going on, guys? I only hopped on as dMartian was saying about a Monero marketplace, and the picture I've got up at the moment. I put a tweet out the other day. I found this little painting on the street, and I wanted somebody to paint the Monero moon similar to what dMartian's logo is there.
Mm-hmm.
And a guy reached out who wants to set up his own Monero marketplace. He sent me a little message. I think he's been quite active on Twitter the last couple of days. But he wants to do exactly what you were saying, build this. I don't know if he's thinking more of just like a clear net marketplace, or if he really wants to go down into the depths and create something incredible. But he reached out. I put him in contact with you, Doug, as you said you want to try and support people. But
yes,
what
I'm
he's
trying to look
trying to do
through my messages because I think he hit me up. I think I had even told him to come on Monero. What was his name again?
the guy I was
Esteban.
speaking.
Esteban?
Yeah, Esteban.
Yeah.
Talking.
He's
He's
been
got
around for a while.
somebody
Yeah.
doing oil paintings and various other things. He wants to send this picture that I find out to his artists, and they're gonna, put the Monero moon there. I'm gonna try and bodge something together myself and just paint it on, or get a massive sticker. Stickers cover everything, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling him to jump on right now. Let's see if he gets it. I don't know. He might be in some weird time zone. But yeah, no, I mean, there's so much to be built in the Monero ecosystem. I think people kind of like, a lot of people look around and they're like, all right, well, digital cash, it's working. It's, it's kind of boring. It works. Like the devs will continue to improve it. Like, what else am I going to do? All I can do is, buy some and, hope that it grows in adoption. Like, no, there's like tons of work to do. I mean, building out all these ideas that we're talking about. Like, all right, now we have digital cash. All right, how do we put it to use? How do we live in a Monero circular economy and in a way where we maintain our privacy on all levels? Obviously, it's going to be difficult. There's going to be some problems that you really can't solve because you're interfacing, with the real world. But there's a lot of things that can be done and improved upon. Like dMartian was saying, basically recreating these centralized systems that we're already accustomed to. The Ubers, the Airbnbs of the world, eBays, and having them, carry on this Monero ethos. So not just in forms of payment, but in all aspects, so that your identity is protected, your privacy is protected, yet you're participating in commerce. And those things just need to be built. They need to be built. I mean, we could hope that, the existing platforms adopt, or we could start building on our own. Maybe there is some killer app out there, some first initial version that would work, that if it's done in the right way, if it's simple enough, some that we could gain some traction with it.
Yeah, I think
you're right.
Good use of the CCS as well. I know the John Foss from Monero Moon. I don't know if his CCS proposal was it was unapproved, I think, and there was a comment on it was either Reddit or Twitter, and it was basically like, we understand that if the the dev team, the funds don't come from the general fund. However, these ideas, whether it's building a marketplace or putting a newsletter out, I think if they were to get to a funding stage, and they've been well vetted, and it's not just a random guy on the street asking for donations to build something with no no skin in the game. But yeah, I think if the community want to fund it, let them put it up on the CCS. But I'm sure more than anybody how the CCS proposals work, and I don't know how you're getting on with that. If you're making steps towards when you'll start.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say start doing your bit, because you do more than enough anyway.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that.
The only thing I was holding on is basically I wanted to make sure I was doing enough before I started to cash in, and I certainly feel like we've reached that point.
Yeah,
so we've gone nonstop from when we first kind of got the funding for the CCS. I just haven't asked to start collecting it, but then I put up a post on Reddit recently, because originally it was going to be that I was going to be working full-time on Monero projects only, and I was leaving my full-time job. So what I've done is extended it. So instead of it being 6 months, I'm making it a year's worth of work, but I'm not leaving my job. And honestly, I think it's just a better decision for me personally, for me and Sunita, and it's going to actually, I think, allow us to do more that way. I kind of experiment with the other version and it wasn't really working out. But then this still allows me to put in, I'm sure you guys can all see, ample amount of time into Monero. I mean, and it's not just me, it's me and Sunita. So collectively, I mean, we put in, 30 hours a week at least. And you're saying both of us, I mean, yeah, no problem. So yeah, that is going well. And then we're going to start asking, basically I saw the start clock for my CCS being January 1st of this year. and then I'm going to work the whole year on it. And I've already, from what I originally proposed in the CCS, I've already met some, made some pretty decent progress. Obviously, MONEROTOPIA was one of the things, so we met that milestone, checked that off the box. We did it. We got it up. It worked. It was a success. So, and then we have a bunch, gratuitous pushing ahead on that. Obviously, this show. Monero Talk show, and we got a couple other things. So, but yeah, it's going well, and I do think the CCS is great. I encourage people, if you have ideas, put them out there. I also encourage people to just take initiative on your own, start building an MVP, prove some that you can do what you envision. Because that's the big part, right? An idea, everybody has ideas. Ideas are a dime a dozen. It's the implementation. So start implementing.
Agreed.
Start building. Start making progress, and then people will see that, and then you can, ask for funding, and the funding will come.
Hey, Monero UK. This is dMartian. Hello, Earthling. And I just want to ask you. So I have many ideas about my own country's sentiment, which is, ambiguous, but I want to hear from your country. What do you think people feel about their own government looking out for their own good? And how easily do you think that they would be ready to move to a system that would be more fair and to everybody, like Monero?
Do you know what? I stay out of politics, and I see a lot of the libertarians in America. How they feel of no sovereign state and you all just do your own thing. I haven't thought about it, but I think a lot of people, I think it was Howard Zinn, said, your government doesn't care about you. And as soon as people realize that, you just make your own decision, you do what's best for yourself and help those around you. The politicians are never going to help, but I can't speak for the guys in the UK.
I know you don't speak for all the Earthlings, or all the UK. Yeah. But I think you're saying some things that would resonate with a lot of people, that people don't like their governments per se, and their governments aren't quite looking out for them. And so something that is at least put out straightforward. So you don't have to say that these people are looking out for me, yes or no. All you have to say is that I trust that how it's built will be how it will be built, and the people running it aren't going to change it. And if you know the terms, then you can at least work on something that works for you based off of that, right?
I totally agree with what you're saying. But yeah, I think, the last couple of years has sort of shown the trust of politicians. Here in the UK, there was a big COVID scandal as well, whilst everyone was, I say everyone, while certain people were, on lockdown, the government still, or the politicians still did whatever they chose to. And that kind of started to break away with the people like my mum, for example, they buy the rules, they do everything that they're told, and they're like, well, hold on a minute. I'm being told to do one thing and I see others doing the rest. So there's definitely a losing trust in the government, and everyone's seeing their taxes rise. Inflation, is through the roof. I don't think it's long, about 2 to 4 years, and maybe we'll be getting somewhere.
Sure. And what I hope happens is that when everything falls through the grains, through the screens, what happens in the end is that people talking about these issues now, before everything's fallen out, can start to build something that people can hold on to after things fail in other regards.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I thought Sunita was going to come in with something, and I heard it seen her adjusting her mic.
No, go ahead.
No, definitely, and people seeing their currency basically go to shit across the world. So sorry for the swearing. But yeah, you've seen it with the Turkish lira. There's cases all around the world with just the currency going, and your daily shop, getting more expensive. So yeah, I don't think we're far off.
Well, we'll be on the same team when it all shackles out.
Yeah, I'm for it.
Guys, I just want to see a bunch of comments here. So, you see anything good? Somebody's asking what's happening with Daniel Kim and Sweetwater Digital. This is all JettyTube. Jump on, man. You have a lot of good questions.
Oh, there was
comments.
a Monero
What's happening with Daniel Kim? Has he been active? I think we've spoken to Daniel Kim a few times when we were doing MONEROTOPIA. He was supposed to participate, but he decided not to. But he's certainly very much active and into Monero. He's doing his own thing. I think he's always kind of been a behind the scenes guy.
Yes.
But he hasn't done any of his presentations recently. Maybe at MoneroCon. That's another thing we should bring up. MoneroCon is what's going to be June 18th that weekend.
That sounds about right. I think
it's the weekend right before Pork Fest. So
yeah, it's in Lisbon.
We're trying to
Portugal.
we're trying to do both, guys. So Pork Fest is in New Hampshire. And MoneroCon is on the other side.
Yeah,
of the
the
world.
18th actually. Yeah,
the 18th. So in Lisbon,
18th.
in Portugal, get out there if you can make it. We're certainly going to try to make it. If worst case, we're just going to come in for the weekends. And he's giving
smiling.
That's your birthday present.
Oh,
I got us
goodness.
tickets to Portugal
For MoneroCon. Yay!
for your birthday.
Oh, you're sweet.
And then Pork Fest right after. So if you're US based and you're like on the
Meet
East
us in
Coast,
New Hampshire.
come to New Hampshire. Yeah, if you can't go to MoneroCon, come to New Hampshire. Come to Pork Fest.
We're gonna
If you
have
could still get tickets, I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually.
It was like super packed last year. It's so much fun, man. It's
a nice weekend. Yeah,
yeah.
weather-wise.
And it's like it's the entire week, but we're not showing up until Wednesday
morning. Well, we're leaving Wednesday night.
Yeah,
so we won't be there Thursday.
Yeah,
Thursday,
and then we'll be there till Sunday. But highly recommend people come out.
There was a question here.
What are some of the other comments?
Healthier Me. Is it possible to have? Oh wait, here you go. Is it possible to have a Monero Bitcoin swaps banned on exchanges? Even with atomic swaps, they could prevent people from receiving BTC on exchanges by only allowing hosted Bitcoin wallets.
I don't really get. So is he saying? I mean, it's not possible to ban atomic swaps. That's like literally their whole purpose. They're not done through centralized exchanges. They're done peer to peer, basically chain to chain. So no, you can't stop atomic swaps. Exchanges can boot Monero from their exchange and make it difficult for you to acquire Monero through a centralized exchange. But if you have Bitcoin or any other crypto, it's going to get to the point where it's impossible to stop you from moving into Monero. We're pretty much already there for those that are willing to jump through the hoops. But it's going to just get easier and easier to do to the point where anybody will be able to, seamlessly move from any crypto they have and make their way into Monero without going through a centralized exchange. Fox, what's going on, man? You're being quiet up there. I know we still have you. Anything you want to throw out and everything you hear?
I don't want to interrupt you because you are talking so much and so fast.
No, please.
So I would like to share something interesting for you. Here at Monorun, here is one hero who bought one Monero and was trying to withdraw from Binance, and so here it is. Many attempts to withdraw one XMR from Binance, but he didn't give up, and finally he withdrew. So
right.
It's fun. Here it is, and I would like to bring some topic which I made a post a long time ago, but there was not too much reactions.
Okay.
Who hates Monero?
Okay.
I bring some ideas.
So who do you got on there? Chain analysis companies, crypto mining company. Go ahead.
Crypto market manipulators and governments. And if somebody has some new idea, can speak, or you.
I think you pretty much hit it. Yeah, chain analysis companies. I mean, their whole business model relies upon the fact that they could track and trace crypto. and then they could offer those products and services to exchanges and governments. It's all the people that are benefiting from traceable currencies
and not randomix mining.
Yes.
These all people and companies can close their business and try to find some work at McDonald's or something. So they really hate this Monero.
Yeah, no, that's a great post, man. I think you pretty much summed it up there. I don't know. Is there anybody else that kind of falls into the category of not wanting to see Monero succeed? Yeah,
maybe if someone had some idea, I forget somebody.
I would guess just say bag holders of other cryptos, right? Yeah.
So,
but I think you hit the big ones. Definitely. Governments, I don't know. Maybe there are some. Eventually, we'll see some governments that take the other side and see value in allowing Monero to flourish, because they'll benefit from the fact that it will make them attractive and competitive to other governments. We might see that dynamic play out. So maybe it's not all governments that fear Monero. There will be those that will embrace it so they can compete. I know I would certainly be interested in some government that says, they're gung ho on Monero. Come use Monero in my country, and you won't be taxed. I think mandating it as legal tender, I don't necessarily agree with. I think we saw how that's playing out in El Salvador. That's not really the right way to go about things. Let it.
Do you have any countries in mind?
I don't know. You mean like as in which one do I think will most likely or could potentially do it? I really
which ones seem like most fertile ground?
Well, obviously, El Salvador, right? Obviously, is Bitcoin friendly, and they've made Bitcoin legal tender. I could see them transitioning to saying all cryptos are deserve the same treatment. So I kind of see them being as like the low hanging fruit. In terms of governments that may just jump out and say Monero and be Monero, I don't know. Do you have any thoughts there?
The reason why I ask is because I'm not quite sure. I know that there probably are good answers out there, but I'm not geopolitical aware enough to pick one. I think Ireland might be a good pick, actually. I'm not quite sure, but I think they might be a good pick.
I don't know. I think it would have to be some like kind of small island country that's typically used for offshore banking, something like that. I can see that.
Yeah, we've seen that.
Being an early adopter country to Monero. Okay,
so I actually do have one thing that might actually be useful. Then this is a weird thing. Like I've had an interest in this other coin called Algorand. This MIT guy came up with it. This and that. It's people that are into Monero have no reason probably to be interested into that coin for similar reasons. Mm-hmm. But people that I know, like that I try to get into crypto, like I keep trying to get them into Monero, and oftentimes they start like being like, "Oh, you told me about this Algorand thing, and I really like that." This is the first currency that ever made like this one of these small islands that has its own currency on Algorand. And to me, that's interesting. It's not what I want. It's not my goal, but I'm paying attention. And I think that, like what you're just talking about, exactly what you just said, is that it's going to start out on a small island. This is one that's in between the two great continents in the middle Atlantic. Like this is just it's their actual currency. Their base currency has been changed to something on the Algorand protocol, and it's not. It works quickly. It's centralized. It has a lot of failings, but if we could create something that could give them the benefits that they went to Algorand for, but do it in a reasonable enough way where it gave them the benefits of Monero, I think that could be a very convincing argument.
Definitely. What's the country? Do you know?
I don't know. So the easiest way to figure it out would be like first national currency Algorand on some search engine. I'll look it up and send it to you.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a matter of time. We'll start to see, some things like that. I don't think anybody would have predicted El Salvador a few years ago like that would have happened so fast, so quickly. And really, I mean, the reasons are, I don't think it's so much that, the president there has a great love for, the cypherpunk ideals. I think it's he saw that he could personally benefit from doing it. He could benefit politically and perhaps through his own wallet from his own Bitcoin investment, and that's fine, but I think that's what drove him to do it, and I think you're going to see a lot more of those dynamics playing out. So even if
that should be assumed, even
if they're doing it for selfish reasons, that's fine. It just happens to overlap with adopting something like Bitcoin or Monero. Guys, we're coming up on an hour and a half over here.
Yeah.
I still need to get Sunita her birthday present. Otherwise, I'll probably won't be back anytime soon. So yeah, I think we're gonna wrap it up. But anybody that's up here right now have anything else they want to contribute or say? And if anybody that didn't jump up, now's your time to jump up.
Okay, I have something I want to show you. And that Huobi is closed for 3 weeks, and the users are started to be angry, and so some strange things are happening.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is. So you can see that some Monero holders are selling their XMR vouchers and want some USDT to buy Monero, for example, at Kraken. There are huge selling. It's interesting.
Wait, explain this more. The people are
This
selling
is
Monero?
Huobi XMR USDT chart, 5 minutes, and you can see these big red candles. So you can't withdraw Monero from Huobi.
Right,
it's
so
not possible. So you can only sell. Imagine you have, for example, 2,000 coins, and you want to get out. So you have to sell, and there are three cells for 500. You can see.
And when was that? That was today, or that was?
It was April 2021. So day before yesterday, and so this probably some user who is done waiting, and he deleted entire order book. So
sad to see.
Sad to see. Huh?
Manipulation, man. So they're forcing these people to liquidate their Monero so they can get it off. Because
nobody wants to buy these non-existent coins at Huobi, so there is no so big order book from buyers. So this is happening, and that's everything I want to share today.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
I have one last thing.
Go ahead, dMartian.
Just because Fluffy Pony was saying, okay, so I truly believe that Fluffy Pony is right about you should use Monero, but I think holding Monero is a bet on Liberty, and maybe Monero isn't your only bet. To me, I think that Monero is one of the best tools of Liberty, and by using Monero, you are helping increase its value. And by storing value in Monero, also keeping some on the side, you're adding to some liquidity while also making it more scarce, basically. But at the same time, you are using it. So you're using the thing you like. And so if you use the thing you like, I mean, where's the payoff for that? Like at the end of the day, if you use all the Monero that you have, then what's left? You got to put some aside. So store Monero, keep your value in Monero, and then also use Monero is what I would say is the best combination of the two. And I think that makes sense for anybody that thinks there's any future in any of this.
100%. Yeah, I just don't really get Fluffy's point, to be honest. And he's been saying it for years and trying to like wiggle around. I just don't really get it. I don't really get it. And then even like the fact that he then pointed out, well, if you bought Monero at its all-time high and you put $1 million into it, and then and at the same time you put $1 million into Bitcoin, you'd have a lot more of value in terms of Bitcoin than Monero. But if you take you could take any dates and you could find a situation where you'd have a hell of a lot more money in dollar terms if you bought Monero versus Bitcoin. It's obviously holding its value versus the dollar and going up against the dollar over time. And on certain time scales, it's going up against Bitcoin over time. And ignoring all that, like you said, even if you're just ignoring all that, if you want to see Monero adopted broadly, then one of the things you could do to help is buy and hold it. And holding it is using it. And like you said, you're contributing to the liquidity, you're contributing to the network, and you're placing a bet that you think that the network is going to grow in adoption, and you're helping it grow in adoption by adopting it. I just don't really, I don't really get Fluffy's ultimate point, to be honest. Anybody else?
I guess not.
Monero UK.
That was a good conclusion.
All right, we'll leave it at that.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, no, I was going to say the only reason I bought Monero was, I could see a time in the future that I might need it. So I can kind of see, I may as well buy it now rather than buy it later when everybody else might need it. However, I kind of see both sides. I can see why, you don't want the people to buy Monero because they're going to be rich, because it changes your community in a way. There's a certain guy in the Monero community. He went around blocking pretty much everybody because all he was trying to do was pump the coin. He's quite he's got a lot of followers. Whoever it is shall not be named. But yeah, I don't want to see that sentiment here. You see it on Reddit. You see it with all the meme coins. If you're telling people to buy it to be rich, you're going to draw in a certain crowd, which I don't think Monero needs.
Very good point. Very good point.
But then on the other side, I see what you're saying. If you're holding it, technically you are. It has that use case for you, because if more people need it in the future, at least you got it at the price that you paid.
Look, we want to scare away the number go up only people, right? I agree with that. We don't want to attract people that are purely interested in only growing their money and placing a bet and hoping they could gain more value, and then once they do, they run away with that value and run back into fiat. We want people that are getting into this because they want to get out of fiat, and they want to get out of fiat permanently. But then to then say, to completely discount and don't look at the fact that it's probably going to go up in value, I think it's just silly. It's just like, if you want to try to fool people and do that for the purposes of weeding out these weak-minded people that are only interested in number go up, I guess it's an interesting strategy. But I just find it a hard time not being truthful and just saying, like, yes, I'm personally not that interested in the number go up aspect of it. I'm more interested in the liberty aspect of it. But let's be frank here. If Monero continues on its current trend, it's going to gain more adoption and be used as global digital cash. It's going to go up in value. I just think it's why try to pretend that that's not the case.
What's your alternative? A 401k? Trust the corporations will take care of you with their market sentiments.
Right.
What you can do instead is trust in liberty and human cooperation, and that this is a tool for us to achieve that. And so you get some marginal benefits, and it'll grow hopefully for you over time.
Beautiful. All right, guys.
Alrighty,
thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for joining. A bunch of viewers today. We appreciate it, guys. And
happy birthday to Sunita as well. you're the person behind the scenes doing the hard work. Doug's just a face, sorry, but no, thank you both for your hard work. But yeah, happy birthday, and everyone keep an eye out for Seth on the what's the podcast you got coming up? The What Bitcoin Did podcast.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Seth
yeah.
for Privacy
Watch
with Peter McCormack. So anyway, have a good rest of your day, guys. and
Thank
happy
you.
Thank you,
birthday.
Monero
Thank you so much for
UK.
the
Thank you,
wishes.
Fox.
Thank
Thank you,
All the
dMartian.
best.
It was very nice to meet you, and have a nice day.
Thank you,
Thank
man.
you. Thank
Please
you so
join us
much.
anytime.
Please do. All right. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us this week. We appreciate the love, support. Thank you for those who sent us tips. We really appreciate those. Those kind of keep us going. And yeah, I guess we'll end it at that. Thank you. And we'll see you next week. Ta-ta, everyone.
Happy birthday, Sunita.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us on this week's MONEROTOPIA episode. We stream live shows every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. You can find and subscribe to our show on YouTube and Odyssey, or listen to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or Stitcher. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter or join us in the MONEROTOPIA Telegram group. See you all next week.